laughter coming waves across the shore. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite.
What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back. The rebuild series is back. Sorry for last week, but I want to start this vlog off with a challenge to you, and that is do something different. What I mean by this is based off this book, which was recommended to me by a friend on Instagram called Will Brown. It's all about how skill is essentially your body's ability to fire a circuit. So when we do day-to-day tasks, our body's doing the same circuits over and over again. It gets very used to doing it, which is a good thing. It becomes efficient. It gets used to getting up, making coffee, drinking coffee. But to teach our brain new things, which I think has really got to be considered nutrition for the brain. Our brains are hungry to do new things, so fire new circuits, build new pathways, learn new things, and you might learn something about yourself. It might be as simple as just adding a new exercise in the gym, or it might be trying a different food, trying a different meal, eating in a different way. Or even it might be as simple as doing something you do already, but just doing it a different way. A really simple example of this is brushing your teeth. Something you do twice a day and probably don't even really think about it too much. When you next go to do it, try and brush your teeth with the opposite hand to what you usually do. So if you brush with your right hand, try and brush the whole time with your left hand. I'm sure it will bring you some amusement. So it's now about 8:30. I'm gonna finish my coffee, do a little bit more reading, and then if you haven't seen already, I uploaded a 5-minute morning mobility routine. It's actually got so much good support as well on the video, so I think a lot of you guys are enjoying it as well. If you haven't already tried it in the morning, wake up, give it an hour or so, and just give it a go, see how you feel. I think it's a pretty awesome way to start the day.
Babe, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. I can hear your laughter coming waves across the shore. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my kite, babe. We could be together, you're the one I'm looking for. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my kite, babe. We could be together, you're the one I'm looking for. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my
5 minutes, super easy. I really like that routine. Just kind of makes you feel good, like it opens up a lot of those tight areas, activates the glutes, activates the hamstrings, the postural muscles as well. Like it kind of just gets everything going in the right way. Let's grab some breakfast. Not the usual sort of breakfast. Got like a coconut berry smoothie thing. Frozen berries are great, they're cheap, low carb, and then add that nice bit of sweetness, plus super high in antioxidants, micronutrients. Usually I would add also to what you saw previously, I would add avocado as well to bump up the calories, bump up the fat, and adds like a really nice creaminess. But all in all, pretty delicious, relatively high fat and high protein, and lower on the carbs, although it is a little bit higher. I lied, I just found an avocado, so I'm gonna throw that on now. Avocado bumps up the calories perfectly to what I'd be shooting for breakfast and makes it super thick and creamy. I recommend you give this one a go. Amended macros as well now that there's actually the right amount, and I'll also put the recipe below just so you can grab it. These are my "this is why I haven't got a girlfriend" shoes. So now that's all done, I need to go and train this morning because I got to Skype some clients and sort some things out this afternoon. We're doing an upper body workout, going along the same lines as well what I said, doing something different. You'll notice in today's video there are some different exercises that you maybe wouldn't expect to see on this channel, but there's good reason for it. I'm trying to correct one-sided imbalances that I have from playing golf for 5 years, a very one-sided sport, and it means that I have several left to right issues. Anyway, let's grab pre-workout, go train, good days.
Maybe you could fly my kite, babe.
I haven't actually updated you on how the rehab for the elbow has been going for a few weeks in terms of upper body, so hopefully this session explains where I'm at. The last couple of weeks is the first time I've really introduced weighted, sort of heavier, more basic kind of compound movements into my training. I've been doing dips throughout, but this is the first time I've really kind of built up some real kind of 6 rep mark, pushing it sort of stuff. So I was doing 27.5 kilos at an 86 kilo body weight for 6 reps. So it's by no means incredible, but it's definitely getting back to where I was beforehand, and I'm feeling a little bit stronger. And most importantly, it is pain-free. And this kind of takes me on to the next exercise, which I'm doing pull-ups. I'm doing pull-ups for the first time in 3 months, and I don't think I'd ever be so happy to do just like a simple set of pull-ups ever again, but it feels nice to be able to get back into this movement, not be in pain, and just actually be able to do something. I was using straps because that takes some pressure off the forearms, so just trying to slowly load up my elbow and my forearms more and more. I was doing 6 to 8 reps, not really pushing failure, just working through the motions, working through, as I said, loading up those elbows. And most importantly, avoiding pain, which is always a nice feeling. I then moved on to some single arm movements, again working on imbalances like I mentioned before. The last couple of weeks I've been incorporating these single arm push presses, and I didn't realise how bad the imbalance from left to right was until I started doing these sort of movements, because it really does expose it. My left side is significantly weaker, especially serratus anterior, pec minor, and the ability to protract the shoulder. And this is arguably why my left elbow is much worse with the golfer's elbow, and why it's been slower to recover than my right elbow has. So that's why I'm working on this. I'm simply doing an extra set on the weak side. And I paired this with some single arm cable rows, again focusing on the same principle. It's working those diagonal muscle systems, so the anterior and posterior oblique systems, and it's just a really nice integrated full body movement that it really does expose some things, and if you're not aware of any imbalances you have, it's quite an interesting one to test out and see where you're at. I then moved on to a little bit of core, and I was doing again a similar sort of movement targeting those anterior oblique system, that going from right to left with these wood choppers. This is an exercise I did a lot when I was powerlifting. It's a really amazing movement just for integrating the core into a full body movement. I know some of these movements aren't strictly body weight, but they are effective movements and effective exercises, and I think really at the end of the day it's more important to focus on doing what is going to be the best for the outcome that you are trying to achieve, rather than sticking dogmatically to I will only do body weight stuff, etc. And then finally I moved on to some accessory work. I've neglected triceps for a long time just because I didn't see there was any need for them, but you know, again, after assessing myself objectively, I realized that I do need to start building up these. So I'm just doing some overhead tricep extensions because that is the range of motion that is weak for me. Doing these in a neutral grip as well, pretty much there's no pain at all with this movement. I was pairing this exercise with some seated incline dumbbell curls. And again, doing these in a neutral grip. These I'm using to build up strength in the brachialis especially, which is, you know, as important for stabilizing the elbow, but also the forearm flexors. Again, this is going to be contributing to the golfer's elbow, and hopefully this is going to be doing something to assist in recovering, getting stronger, and hopefully coming back stronger than before. That's the whole point of this, guys. If you have any questions about this routine, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. But back to the vlog.
So, session done. As I said, doing something new. I've been doing those like single arm cable push press stuff for a couple of weeks now, and as I said, I've got a lot of left-right imbalances from playing golf for years, so it really helps correct that, and that's also one of the reasons why my left arm is much worse than my right arm with the golfer's elbow. Either way, as you can tell, it's probably moving a little bit more towards that bodybuilding style of training, and that's because next week, as I mentioned before, we're going to be jumping. This is the last week of rehab. We're going to be going back into normal-ish training and try and build some muscle. However, I will have more of a bodyweight focus next time. Weights are just easier when it comes to quantifying rehab. Anyway, enough rambles. I need to go grab some food. post-workout meal of a banana and cinnamon porridge. Just a bunch of carbs and something that I really enjoy for some reason. Like, I really love porridge, and especially with like banana, cinnamon, honey, like is banging. Usually I'd put whey protein in there, but I had some earlier. So instead I cracked a couple of eggs in to bump the protein content up. When you put eggs in porridge, actually gives a really creamy flavour, so worth giving a try, something new again. Macros on screen. Now I need to just Skype a client quickly, but I'll catch up with you in a bit. So it is now 5:30. I just ended up doing some work for a couple of hours after I Skyped a client. Seeing as I didn't get to actually do any mobility stuff earlier, I probably will do a little bit now. However, it's suddenly become like really stormy, so I think we're about to get some thunder, probably some rain, you know, usual British summer stuff. So that is kind of the end of the stretching mobility session. Nothing too like programmed or scheduled, just feeling out what feels like I need stretching, what feels like it's a little bit sore, kind of working with whatever. Finishing up with some voodoo flossing. I do find that this is probably one of the more helpful recovery methods that I've used for my elbow, just for getting blood flow into there, going full range of motion all the way up, really kind of moving it around. It just feels good after. It is now like 6:15. Got to cook some food for the family. A chicken Thai green curry, just white rice. Really simple recipe. I'll link it down below. It's a Jamie Oliver recipe, but it tastes freaking fabulous.
Yeah. That's that.
Such a tasty way to end this vlog and the day. Pretty hefty meal all in all, especially when you make it with coconut milk. There's a fair amount of calories in there, but it's so damn good. It's like one of my favorite recipes to cook. As I said, it'll be in the description. Full macros are on screen now. There's also a Primal Pantry fruit and nut bar in there as well. And then macros for the day, pretty solid. As you'll see, up to about 3,100 calories. I'm slowly upping the calories, trying to gain some muscle. I'm actually at an all-time low at the moment of about 86 kilos, probably because I've lost some muscle mass after not training properly over the past few months. But that's all about a change, because we're jumping into a muscle building phase in next week. This is the last week of rehab. It doesn't mean my elbows are fixed. This is probably 90% there. This is probably 70%. Still giving me some jiff. I'm still figuring things out, but I'm at a point where I can start focusing and building myself back up rather than crying in the corner because I'm injured. But as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. While you're there, jump in the description box, check out the links and the recipes that I've talked about in today's video. And you can also snag yourself a Bodyweight Warrior t-shirt if you want. One of these. And support the channel. But that has been it for this week guys. Have a strong week and peace.